Hello, Internet world. Hi. Tonight we at the Land Down Under. Oh God, I'm drunk. I can't do this. We are discussing the comic series Saga tonight, up to Volume 9, which is as much as currently published because they are in a hiatus at the moment. I said hiatus, that's good. Okay. Does anybody have a physical copy or are we all digital readers?
Digital all the way for me.
Digital, yeah, same. So that's fine, not a big deal. We can't hold up to the pretty pictures. So yeah, we'll do the usual and we'll see how we go with it all, because this was supposed to happen a month ago and most of us, our memories have faded. All right, starting off with Matt, go.
Yay. Well, I'd say this is probably my favourite comic series that I've ever read. I've never read anything quite as fast and just like so eager to have new issues come out. Although I didn't buy issues, I bought volumes, so I did have to wait. But yeah, it's got all the stuff. I'm a big fan of vulgarity, and especially when it's used in inventive and comic ways, and I think they do a lot of that. So it's very up my alley in that regard. And just some of the interesting twists on sci-fi tropes and things that that are, I don't know. I love it. I don't need to say anymore for right now.
No, it's fine. It's just supposed to be a hey, how did you go kind of thing anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow up from that because I think that actually captures why I have now quit the series. I was actually thoroughly into this series right at the beginning. It felt very similar in that I was like eager for the next parts, was really into all of the, like you said, all of the ways that it plays with concepts and ideas and just tries to challenge our preconceptions of what you can do in these sorts of stories. But I think the problem is it's just become too much for me, especially around the vulgarity and the darkness of the story. And as everybody in the group knows, I'm not much for dark. And I think that as long as dark as well as scary for me, if there's a storyline to sort of make it, to compensate for it, I'll still be there. But the problem is now it's gotten to the point where it's just too much for me. And so I've actually only read up to Volume 8. And I was just like, I don't want to buy anymore. I don't want to read it anymore. I'm done. Anyway, Kirsten.
I can see where you're coming from, Mel. I still quite enjoyed it all the way up to the end. But like I said before, I think that was before we started recording, that I was like at the rage quit point when I saw the big thing that happens at the end of the last one, because I feel like I read it because I really enjoyed these characters. That was the thing I enjoyed the most about it, was the characters and the way they were interacting. And I felt like the last few I didn't enjoy as much as the first few. But I mean, like, that means it's not like I didn't like it. It's more like I went from loving it to liking it, rather than being like, oh my God, this is so great, I really need to keep reading, to being like, yeah, this is good. Like, yeah. But yeah, I don't like it when bad things happen to the people that I like in stories, and then I get sad, and then and if it doesn't turn around, then it needs to turn around. If it just keeps getting worse, yes, it needs to have the hope. It needs to still have a bit of a hopeful feeling, even if something bad does happen. And I felt like it had that at the beginning, and then it's like as it's progressed, it's become less and less so. Yes. And I'm like, it's only so many times I can be hit and then have to get back up again before I'm like, no, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly that.
But overall, like, I really enjoyed this series. I would probably read more if Matt reads more and says, no, keep reading, because like.
Well, like, I know I don't want to get, no, I'll save it for after Liv's had her turn at stuff.
All right, then. Liv.
Yay.
Okay, so this is the second time I've read for it. I think I got up to maybe volume 5 or 6 last time. So I can remember up to that bit. But I really love the characters. I love the design. Like, it's one of my favorite graphic novels in terms of the characters design and the world building. It's so cool. And I don't mind the vulgarity. I actually think it's funny at times.
I think it's meant to be funny at times.
Oh yeah.
I think one of my favorite bits was at maybe the first or the second volume with the big giant and the big balls, and I went, oh, this is so funny. And actually, I was rereading this at work. Maybe that's on my phone, and someone looked over my shoulder and went, oh, you don't want to look at that bit.
It's not the kind of graphic novel to get caught reading.
I had the same thing, except it was my kids, and I was like, no, and it was the bit, because I was like, I just flicked to a new panel, and it was towards the end, and it was Prince Robot and the other chick having sex, and like the frame was like her giving him head, and one of my kids came and looked over my shoulder, and I was like, "Blah!"
Swipe it closed.
Yeah. Like, what are you reading, Mummy? Like, no, go away. Sorry, Liv, I took over your.
Anyway, and I've really enjoyed it, but I think it was a month ago, and I thought that I had to like read so many to catch up for the meeting, and then when the meeting didn't go, I think that's part of the reason why I can't remember the last couple editions at the moment, because I went, what happened?
Can I show you the last the very last page, the last one?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Because it might remind Liv what happened.
Are we moving on from general?
Oh, it's all right. I can look at it on my phone, so I'll just check now. Yeah, you can go, and I'll look at it. One sec.
This is the spoiler for Mel.
Yeah, but she looked it up already.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to get spoiled tonight anyway, and I also wanted to know whether it's
that's right.
I kind of wanted to know whether or not to get number 9, like whether there was going to be anything that would be worthwhile, and then I found out, and I was like, oh, no way, I'm not doing this anymore.
So, I mean, in terms of that, this is a 108 issue planned run, and they're at 54. So they're at the halfway point, and it's where I'm expecting it to be at its darkest and least hopeful.
Yes.
Before it comes good again.
Do you think that he's going to come back?
I do.
Unless that happens, I'm out, basically.
See, my thing is, it's not just that; it's what's come before it as well, and I'm just like, this is too much. I can't deal with this much. It's just, I like happy places.
And that was what I liked about this in the beginning, that even though all this bad shit was going on, it was like they had this little bubble of their kind of their relationship and their happiness, and I felt like the later ones didn't have that.
Yeah, and to be fair, I felt like quitting at around about the stage where they had the first time jump. Earlier, not from the last couple of series. I think it was about volume 5, maybe.
Mm-hmm. It was about 5 years or something.
But she grew up.
And what's her face is doing drugs, and Marco's cheating, and and I was just like, all the things that I'm actually enjoying about this have just been kind of destroyed. But I purchased the next couple, so I kept reading, and then I thought, I'm all right, I'm okay. It's not great, but I'm okay. And so I kept buying, but I hadn't read them, but I hadn't bought number 9. And so by the end of number 8, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I found at the same point, Mel, that was when I was like starting to get like, I don't think I could keep reading. Like, or not that I couldn't, but it was more like I have a lot of things to read, and so I'm not hanging out to read this the way I was before, because So that was the exact same point that I was starting to get frustrated by it, Mel, because I was like,
they destroyed that happy bubble, right? Like, this world is truly awful. It does not feel hopeful at all that they're going to, because they have no power to resolve anything. So it does not feel like the world's going to be fixed. But they had at least their little bubble of hope. And that was the first time that hope was stumbled. And that was, that hurt. but it's sort of they tried to bring it back around for a bit there, where they were starting to work together and things, and so you sort of started to get it back, and I think that it all started to go bad and feel really awful when Izzy died.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then and like also there was a lot of time where they were just apart as well.
But then
that I didn't enjoy.
And then the prince's whole obsession with her while she was pregnant, and that felt really icky to me, and I was just like, and then I found out what happened at the end of 9, and I was like, no, done.
Yeah, it's coming back to me having looked at that last panel and going through it, because I also saw that TV died.
Oh yeah.
We haven't actually spoiled it for anybody who's watching, just in case anybody hasn't watched it and they want the spoilers.
I think we haven't been overt, but I think if someone was watching and didn't want any spoilers at all, we've probably given a lot of things away.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely that. So I was just thinking, like, if someone's watching, maybe being obvious might be good.
Yeah, I suppose too. Hello to anyone who watches us. We always spoil things, so don't watch it unless you've read it or you don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, this is not a review channel. This is we're going to talk about it in depth channel.
Yeah. Because for our wide audience that watches us.
I don't want to do the spoiling though, because I haven't actually read it. I just think I know what happens. So does somebody want
Would you like to see the this is the last panel of the last.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. So that's what I assumed.
Like,
he's died, I assume. I can't see how he can come back from that.
And like the line says, because on that page that you can see, hang on, I've got it on that thing that it shows me. So it's got not everybody does. Well, the line that's before that is her saying, thanks to my parents, at least I got to grow old. And then it's like that. Not everybody does. It's like, okay, it's not an iPad, so I'm not throwing it across the room, but I was tempted.
Yeah, right? Like, because...
I think that's probably why I couldn't remember the last couple editions.
Why? Because you threw it at the wall?
You blocked it. Just blocked it.
I just blocked it out of my mind, because it's actually coming back, and I do remember, I think I was like in my room or something, and it was, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why did you do this? And also,
like,
I was so happy because they're on the beach and they were happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, I think the last few, especially the last volume or two, I felt like it was coming. Like the whole pacifist thing was really becoming more and more of an issue, and so it felt like it was coming. I don't actually know how it happened. Do you know how it happened, or is it just a page?
No, yeah.
No, you see it.
It's the will.
The will, yeah.
Right, so the will catches up finally. See, this is the thing. Like, it's just. And the reason I have to believe that he's actually gone is because they haven't managed to bring anybody else back. That was pretty important too.
Yeah.
So this is a story that takes its consequences seriously. So, and it's Marco.
Yeah. And actually, considering the will, I actually liked him.
That's the other thing that annoyed me, was like, I was like hoping that he would have this redemption arc thing, and like he's like a bad guy, but then he rescued the girl from the that sex place, and so you kind of think he has some good in him, and then just
I feel like that's the kind of the point of this sort of story, is like it's all grey. Nothing's good and nothing's really actually bad. Well, no, actually there's some pretty bad things in there.
Well, there was also this one too.
Yeah.
So what's that?
That's Prince
one
Robot, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not Prince
It
Robot.
is. Yeah.
So Prince Robot died.
No, it is Prince Robot.
Yeah.
So Prince Robot dies as well.
Yeah.
So all we've got left at this stage
is Alana.
Yeah.
Daughter.
Yeah.
That other lady.
Prince Robot's son.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. Yeah.
I just wonder if they're going to do a time jump next.
I assume they
gonna
will,
bring-
actually.
I assume so too, because that's kind of how they tell the story, is they do time jumps.
The
to-
last thing with Prince Robot, look at his face. It's like, I
It
just
broke my
like it.
heart.
And it's really sad. And I'm like, except he was still sort of an asshole, but
Is
like,
that the Will that killed him?
yeah.
So the Will took both of them out.
And like, ugh.
Did he also, I'm trying to remember if one of the reporter guys died.
Oh, that was the other freaking thing. Oh God.
Are you kidding? The reporter guys too.
Because
One of
I loved them as yeah, of course it's one of them. Because when there's two people in a story that love each other, you have to kill fucking one of them, don't you?
Well,
And
in this
just-
story they do.
This is how you make
It's
drama.
upsetting to me. Yeah, but I don't like it.
The problem is they're at a point right now that I will never be completely happy because they have killed off all the hope of happiness, like the proper happiness, full happiness.
Yeah.
It's always going to be second level happiness now for me, like that they could possibly get to. And I just don't want to read it that much to get to that point. And I
Yeah.
need that. That's what I read for. I enjoy happy endings.
Me too. And I mean, like, kudos to the writers, because like they made me care about all his characters. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get this angry when people die if you've done a bad job at writing, because I'm like, yeah, oh well, who cares that that person died? But it's also like, it can only take so much.
They've obviously taken a page out of George R. R. Martin's book of writing style in terms of make you care about the characters, and then we are going to quite happily take them away from you as well.
Have you seen
But you can
these,
bring
by the
them
way?
back.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is. Oh, but Lion Cat, I love.
Lion
I
Cat.
know,
Oh, Lion Cat
Lion
dies
Cat
too.
is- Yeah.
What?
Sorry, Lion Cat dies too.
Oh, I am so out.
I mean, do you understand why it's lucky it wasn't an actual book and not on it, like it's like it was on an iPad and on, because I would have thrown it.
Oh my god! So Isabel's dead.
Mhm.
Is there going to be some kind of go back in time and fix everything thing? Because that's pretty much the only thing that will make me watch.
Or they might do what they do, which is just deal with the bad shit that happens in the
Deal
world.
with bad shit. You know what? There's bad shit in the real world.
That's the point.
Mel.
That's kind of the point here. I think it's meant to be a very big allegory for what happens in the real world. It's not meant to be happy, I don't think.
Oh.
This is a side of Drunk Mel we haven't seen before.
Kill Lion Cat.
Yeah. Yep.
I actually, you know what? As Kirsten said, if you'd come back and told me, yeah, it's worth it, keep reading, Mel, I might have given it another chance. But there ain't any hope in hell now.
And it all this kind of happened like in the last sort of 3 or 4 issues. Like it all. Oh, it was was it an accident? I can't remember. Someone gets killed by accident, and the rest are deliberate.
I'm trying to find it.
And I think
Like,
I have a feeling Lion Cat dying might have been one of the things that. I
The
mean,
reason why
well,
the wheel's on a
actually,
thing.
well, the will's kind of fucked up because one of the people that he killed, one of the people that he killed, their partner has been hunting him down to get revenge and has, been torturing him and everything like that. So he's kind of all fucked in the head as well.
He was already pretty fucked in the head over the stalks.
Yeah. And now it's like double down.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and I can't remember if the grandmother dies or if she's still off
Got left
doing her
behind.
thing on the prison.
She got
on the
left
prison
behind.
Yeah,
That's
she
right.
was working in the prison camp.
by her. Her choice. That's right.
Yeah. Well, they didn't. They also couldn't get her off because
Yeah,
it was
which was
either her or Marco. So
You go for all the good it did you.
What happened to the trans lady?
Petrichor.
Can't remember her name.
Yeah, that was her name.
She's still there.
Is still around.
Okay.
They haven't killed her. You know, so
yeah,
small. What's the word I'm looking for?
Mercies.
Trying to find. Yeah, small mercies.
I'm really angry.
Oh, except, they knew there was something up with her. I could have forgotten about that.
I can't believe there was that many deaths in that last volume.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was getting along with Prince Robot, remember?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It was sort of the saving thing from Prince Robot having gone obsessed with Alana, and it was like, please stop doing that. You're really creeping me out.
I'm trying to find Lion Cat. I can't. Was that in this volume or the last one?
I think it's in a
It might have
separate
been the one before.
because I couldn't find it. I'm looking for it now.
If it was in one of the ones I read, I don't remember it happening. So I'm impressed that it didn't stick in my brain.
Did Lion Cat go and was that at the? I can't even remember.
Now checking volume.
Because it was a while ago that I read it now because I suppose it was for all of us because because that was what I ended up doing too. Like I think I was up to about the one that you were just telling me about, Mel, the one where she was working in the like soap opera thing, whatever it was, and she was on drugs and he was cheating on or wanting to cheat on her with that what's her face chick.
Yep.
That was when I'd stopped. So then when we did this, it was so long because I'd read that when it first came out pretty much. And so when we were doing this, I was like, I cannot remember. I need to read this from the beginning, which I did.
See, I didn't, but I did go back to the volume before the one that I hadn't read to just give it a little bit of a skim through to refresh where I was up to. Because it was actually just past that stage that I couldn't really remember. I remember her working for the soap opera and all of that happening. Yeah, so Alana dies in volume 7. And then they do a lot of blank pages.
Maybe I'm getting confused between Lion King and Sweet Boy because they were both like companions.
So it wasn't Lion Cat. Because I couldn't remember.
You mean I just did all of that raging over at...
It's Matt's fault.
Yeah, but don't you feel good now?
Oh, I feel really shitty.
Was it? I can't even remember what happened. Something happened with Lion Cat, though.
Yeah, something. Oh, because Lion Cat stopped being the Will's partner.
Yeah, Lion Cat stayed with the little girl who wasn't so little anymore.
And then he was all like sad that Lion Cat was gone. And he had Sweet Boy. Yes, and it was the one that was hunting the Will. She killed Sweet Boy.
Right.
So I'm looking at the top deaths in Saga and Lion Cat's not in it.
Yeah.
I would imagine if
I found the same one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good because I hadn't remembered that either. But then maybe I was remembering the bit where he gets blown out the spaceship, but then they bring him back in time.
I think that's what I was thinking of.
They put the meerkats as a worse death than Isabel on this list.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So it goes Isabel, and then
is it not just in order of when they died?
It says top
it's in
because
the worst.
Marco's number 1.
Marco's number 1.
Yeah, but he was the most recent one. Like, does it go from like the most recent one at number 1, and then the second most recent?
No, it's not. No,
because Robot is number 10, and he died just before.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put him at 10. I was like, he's finally like, there's like redemption arc for him. I don't know, like
I felt like a lot of his
relationship with his son, and then he was getting on with what's her face.
So the brand
name Petrichor.
Yep.
And he told her he loved her, and like it's like, you know.
He was Sweet Boy. That's the one we think.
That's what I was getting confused. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, do I remember that? I wouldn't remember.
Well, because when Matt said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I think the image that came into my mind when he said that was the bit where Lion Cat got blown out the spaceship, and that was way ages ago.
Yeah.
But I don't remember things very well. I was just already too like many things.
I'm reading this article from like about 3 weeks ago where they're interviewing Brian K. Vaughan and said that he's scared to do anything to lie because Fiona Staples might get very upset.
Everybody will get very upset.
Apparently, she handwrites all the Hazel's narration stuff. That's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty standard though, like at least according to Japanese manga standards. Like that certain sections would be handwritten.
It's not common in Western comics. Normally there's a separate letterer.
Mm.
But
I know that Lioncat is not dead now, but I'm still upset. Even though it's not actually real.
So you can blame Matt for that, because he even had me convinced. I was like, he remembers things better than me. I don't remember.
I was convinced. I had myself convinced.
I don't remember that happening, but it must have happened because I have this kind of memory.
Mm.
And I was like, I trust Matt because he always remembers things better than me. So when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Did Friendo die?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
I don't know that Friendo did die. I think
because he was put under threat at the end of it, but they turned up.
Correct, yeah. Goose, like the bird? No, not goose. Goose. So
last mouthful of
anyway, I will keep reading, and I'll let everyone know what whether to continue, because I don't care about the happy endings and all that. I like grimdark stuff, and the worse it gets, the more interested I get.
No, look, and I will gladly have you tell me and spoil me for the plot. It's the kind of thing that I'm interested enough to know what happens, but I just can't be in the world anymore.
Yeah.
So whenever it comes back.
Which is no different than Game of Thrones, really, so. Turns out it wasn't worthwhile knowing the ending, but that's fine.
You were glad that it hasn't come back during COVID times.
I thought it might have been like the time when it would, because they're like, what are we going to do? I know, let's just keep working on Saga. But no, apparently not.
But what's exciting, Pocket in some sort of form is back. Sorry, I went off topic.
What is?
Pocket. Did you guys ever watch Good Game Pocket?
No.
No.
Okay, maybe I need Sarah.
What was it?
So, you know Good Game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was Pocket with Nick Boy.
No, I don't think I ever saw the Pocket one.
Okay.
I didn't watch a lot of that show because I'm not really a gamer, so.
I think Sarah and I were the only ones who streamed it, like the live show last night. So.
Oh, was that like last night?
Yeah. That was the thing you guys were posting.
Well then, no, I definitely did not.
They're creating a new show. And I'm already a patron, so we'll see.
Oh, I saw you comment that, but I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, neither did I. I was like, it's probably not something for me anyway, so that's fine.
So adorable.
Should we wrap it up and see if anyone else wants to jump in? Because I think we've all talked out now. Matt will keep reading.
Yes.
Mel probably won't keep reading. Other people might keep reading.
Mel rage quit.
No, that was my fault.
Yeah. And you had me convinced too, because I was totally like, yeah, no, that must have happened, because I don't clearly remember it, but I forget stuff all the time, and
I had myself convinced. I had myself convinced.
I was like, oh well, I always forget what happens in things. That's why I have to go. Like, if it's been a while since I've read something, and then the next book comes out, I'm like, I've got to find somebody who's done a really good synopsis on like Wikipedia or on something so that I can remember what happened, because otherwise I forget.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find something like that now. It's sometimes some places are just not very good at covering and giving all the details you want. They'll give a description rather than a detail thing, and I'm like, come on, hit me with the spoilers, please. Anyway, did anybody want to raise any other points from the books themselves?
Not really.
There was lots. Yeah, like I said, I think I like the designs. Like the idea of the tree rocket ship is just like pretty cool.
Love all of that too.
There's so many things that are such cool ideas.
Yeah. The art style is very up my alley. I know I kind of mention that sometimes with other graphic novels I've read, where it's like, I love the story, but the art just wasn't quite what, I normally go for. But this one is really good. I love Fiona's work in this. It's good.
I particularly like the way, how important that romance book is to the story. Like, not only did it bind them two, but also it's become this revolutionary text, even though it's just a silly romance story that no one should really get. And yet it's turning into this really important book for so many people, and it's such a core book for them and their relationship. I love that as a story element. I was just like, yeah, exactly.
There was one quote, and I can't remember it exactly, but that Heist says, and it's
it's the one about love isn't the opposite of war. Something about the
sex.
opposite.
Sex is. It was the bit about he says like fictional violence, like real violence is absolutely terrible, but fictional violence is fucking awesome. Like, yeah, and it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Like, that's why we like action movies, because it's like all this cool shit and people getting knocked out and not dying and all this kind of stuff, and it's cool. But real violence is not cool at all. So
I know.
It's like when you watch those YouTube, like, have you seen those videos where they show you a scene from an action movie and they count up all the injuries that the person would have if it happened in real life?
I've seen them do it for Home Alone.
Or they did it for Die Hard. And it's like,
God, he's dead.
So long ago.
Well, it doesn't even need to be that far. Like, I just see someone get punched, and you're like, you got up from that? I wouldn't have gotten up from that.
Yeah, John McClane he's made of pretty strong stuff. I think the worst bit is when he's like walking through like the shattered glass and like that. No, I can't deal with that.
Oh God! Okay. Anyway, everybody good? We're finished.
My last thought, and then I promise you I'll stop.
Okay.
Is
you can keep going.
I thought the very first panel of the first issue really sort of like set a tone for it.
Oh, that was the best. That was one of my favorite things about it.
Am I shitting myself?
Oh, yeah.
Am I shitting? It feels like I'm shitting myself.
I love that.
I love that level of realism.
Because it's like, it's so true.
I've never ever seen anything have that level of realism when it comes to birth.
It's just, it's good.
Yeah.
So I will keep going once it comes back, and keep everyone up to date with what they need to know.
Very good. I look forward to the spoilers.
Thank you.
And I'll get them right this time.
And all you have to do is all you have to do is say, because you know us, and all you have to do is go, yes, please, yes, you should read it. You will like it, or you probably.
And then if we don't like it, just proceed to spoil.
Yeah.
Will do.
Alrighty then. Thank you anybody who was watching tonight. Sorry, it's a short one.
Sorry if we scared you about Lion Cat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Actually, you at least enjoyed my rage.
That was fun though.
That was quite the highlight.
It was really good. See, that was how I felt about Marco. I was like, yeah.
Not similar, but I'd sort of come to that point of acceptance on that one, in that I was not going to continue reading because that was definitely a dead one. But Lion Cat made me. Anyway, we're closing down. Night, everyone.